Right, so again, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining our weekly webinar. Today we'll be discussing our product introduction of our solar power security solution system. This is our solar range itself for better security use for remote areas, and we're just going to go through all that. We'd like to ask if you guys have any questions, please keep it at the end. After we're done with the recording for our YouTube channel to introduce us, I'll ask the Q&A after that, and we'll stop the recording. All right. Okay, so let me just quickly minimize. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we all are familiar with our environment in South Africa regarding the solar panel systems. And then we obviously don't have to ask the question of why a solar power camera. But if you do, we'll go through all that, and where we'll apply it in the real world, and etc. This is good enough, the basic things. So why a solar power camera? Very straightforward, very simple. If you have a farm area and that farm area has no electricity, or there's no security, this is a perfect product to use for that environment. It's quick, easy, everything in a kit. You deploy it or you mount it somewhere completely secluded, so it's very nice. You can just put it somewhere and then put a SIM card in and communicate from there. Or maybe it's a construction area, pipelines, all these type of things. It's difficult to run cables. It will take days to dig the trench, and etc. etc. So this way you don't have any issues. You just mount it wherever you can, where there's a decent spot area, or maybe plant a pole and then mount it. This will give you that remote viewing for that environment, which is perfect for security use. Right. So here's a little bit of a demonstration just to show how flexible this is. Yeah, we have a company that put it onto a little trailer. So you can pull it around and then just put out the arm, mount the camera, and there you go, done. Very straightforward, easy to use for that kind of purpose. Also for the guys that's using construction, very easy. You can put that up, especially with the advanced series. You can have the line crossings itself or intrusion areas, so you are more secured regarding that, and you don't have to depend on the security guard that's taking naps from now to then. Yeah, anyway, all right. We can also put it onto a tree if you wanted to. It depends on what that application is, and because it's color view, it gives you that colorful image itself. So some of you might be familiar with the older model. This is our second generation version. And the more we carry on with this, the more we improve it, the better the surrounding applications would be. So a lot of the guys are used to the previous version. The second generation is a lot more flexible and has a lot more new features. So it gives you that capability to be able to mount it up anywhere you would like. Right. So places that will be able to need it is maybe any national park, pipelines, like I said, construction site, mining areas, farms, maybe motorway or security areas for surveillance, for communities or stuff like that. Perfect idea. Obviously, wherever there's no electricity, you can't run any cables. This is the option for you. It gives you that capability of using the product. Right. So what is a solar camera? Very simple, straightforward. You have a solar panel on top. This is our advanced series. Underneath it, you have a battery box. It's got a little bracket there to be able to plug in all the cables. Then you have the bracket arm that you can mount it to whatever you would like to, and then obviously the camera at the bottom. This specific model is very advanced. That's why they call it the advanced series. The nice thing about this, you have the color view and you have HIK-sense built into it. So it gives you that capability. Very nice, easy, and this comes as a kit, so easy to use. Then we have our standard series, which is very popular in South Africa. A lot of the guys have already installed this and used this. I've done a lot of POCs and demonstration and explanation of how this works. You can really expand on this quite a lot. On this specific model, you've got the solar panel on the top. At the bottom of it, you've got the camera, but inside the camera, right over there, you have the built-in battery. So there's no battery box. There's a cable connection box, but there's no battery underneath it. It's inside the camera. So this is perfect for environments of just surveillance itself, long-lasting battery, easy to use, straightforward, nice design. Right. Then we also have the basic series. The basic series is a lot smaller. It's a little bit easier to install for just temporary use, or maybe just a secluded area that you can't cover, or maybe an entrance of a warehouse and you can't really run cables. This is perfect. You can connect it through the network. Everything is perfect on that. So got a solar panel, batteries inside it. It's got a built-in PIR as well to help it to detect. The reason why they're built-in PIR, if the camera detects anything, it will obviously wake up, take a snapshot or a little recording video. It depends on how you set it up, and send it to your HIK-Connect or to your device of notification. Next up is the solution regarding that for the communication. So obviously we can scan it through HIK-Connect. So once you put the SIM card in, you can scan it, use the HIK-Connect, you get the notifications, very straightforward. We can also use HIK-Central Professional, so that gives us the capability of pulling it into a security company or a monitoring company. Then we also can take it to an NVR. It needs to be an I-series NVR, so to be able to handle the firmware of that customization. And then also we can take it to our HIK Pro Connect itself, our cloud-based server. So that gives you that capability to be able to control it and have more tools towards installer as well. So if there's maybe something that's going wrong on it, or maybe it's under a tree and it's got too much of shadow, so the solar panel's not charging, this gives you that capability of basically monitoring whatever is happening from a HIK Pro Connect side as an installer, or maybe as a company. And then you can obviously notify and tell the client that this, and I don't know if you've noticed, the camera is not recording, or whatever the case might be. All right. In South Africa, it might be stolen. So next one is our basic unit, just to give you a brief understanding again about that. This will be able to detect up a human being crossing that PIR area up to 10 meters. Once the person will go past, it will alert, it will send a signal through, as you can see. So it depends on that application of where you would like to put it up. Right, so obviously it's like a normal PIR. It doesn't have AccuSense in it. It's just a normal 4 megapixel camera, and that's just giving you that video image. Right, the next one is basically, is it good enough? So let's go into that and discuss that. Obviously, it's good enough. Battery lifespan on these are extremely high. So this is where the product shines a lot. So normal battery life on normal solar systems are very difficult to control because of the environment. It's heavy, it's very cost effective. So this is a better solution. So long term, obviously for the batteries, obviously the less sun, the less the batteries will stay alive. So this gives you the capability of using a longer life battery on our device, and it's more accurate. So as you can see, with the amount of watt hours compared to the wattage, that gives us the difference compared to other products compared to ours. So ours got that longer last because we've really gone through it. It's less, but it also creates more capability. Not just that, very importantly, all these cameras that are on these devices have only 2 watts. So a lot of the guys are used to some of our cameras that have like 6 to 5 watts, not lower than that. And when you do solar setups and you do the remote monitoring for farm areas and stuff like that, you would know that the wattage is what kills the batteries the quickest. So this gives us the capability of using 2 watts and then obviously still have that analytics, which is perfect. Right, like I mentioned, normal, you have like a PTZ that gives you all the I don't know why they put that picture in there, but anyway, so it gives you like 90 watts. Then a normal camera will be 12 watts. A normal switch will be 5 watts. Now you have everything built into it. So the SIM card is in there, the battery's in there. You don't have to worry. 2 watts, less power, more uptime. Right. So as we mentioned, obviously, because we are saving electricity, not that we, I walked into that one, didn't I? We are saving electricity because we have load shedding in South Africa. So if you're watching this video in the next 10 years from now, yeah, it's called load shedding. So we don't have electricity for hours because, okay, anyway. So it's very durable. I've got a little video to showcase how strong these devices have been tested. So obviously this can handle a typhoon 12 and the Typhoon 10 on these specific models. They were properly tested overseas at our head office compared to normal devices that can't really handle that kind of environment. So this is perfect for farming areas, perfect for remote mining areas. This is great product. Right, so here's a little video just to show you guys of the testing. Let's have a look at this. This has all been done by our HQ office in China. So they really go through a proper testing phase. This will be the first one, will be the wind tunnel. There's those little sexy little cameras with our solar panel, the brackets. All right. I really like this model. Really easy to use. And there's the wind tunnel machine, and it's going to blow it away, and you'll see how much it can handle. Right. And I just noticed that the video is a little bit slow. Again, these are our PPTs. So they are a little bit slow. So next up, I'll show this video, but it's on our presentation. So you can see also rain test. Some people will ask hail. It's hail. Those nuggets sometimes on certain farm areas are big. If you can't run away from it, then for normal products, away from it. So, but normal use, normal weather environment, heavy environment, but also for temperature, humidity as well. So big role. And then the coastal side, the guys in Durban, the ones in Cape Town. This gives us the capability of doing that salt test. So the salt test will test the product to make sure that it's durable for that kind of environment area. Perfect. And then he's rinsing it off now. Someone else is going to borrow it again, probably me. Okay. It's got that protective layer on it. And as you can see, it's a little bit dirty, but it survives. So very nice, durable product. And now 10 minutes later, right out, he's going to test it, make sure that everything is still working after all that testing. And then he's going to switch it on underneath, put the SIM card in. Upside down. But there we go. Okay. Everything has been tested, been approved, especially from our third-party side. So decent product. Here we go. Right, so carry on from that. Obviously, like I mentioned, we can go up to 8 megapixels on these devices. So for our color view, the advanced series has an 8 megapixel built inside. Obviously, our standard model has a 4 megapixel, but we'll go through all that, and it's just color view. So built-in AccuSense into the device itself, so that gives us the capability of detecting the differences between human vehicles or others. So it's got that deep learning algorithm into it, which is a lot of you are used to it, and obviously know that it is a fine program. Right. Not just that. So starting from the top, we have our 8 megapixel color view with AccuSense model. Then we have our brand new, very nice HIK Pro series. It's a 4 megapixel. It's got the new HIK Pro model on top of it with the new thermography. So this is just open up doors way bigger. I really like that unit. Really easy to use, and it's got a simple design. Then we have our normal color view 4 megapixel standard series. That is the range that it falls under. So obviously we have an in between now, and the further we go, you'll see that we'll have more models coming up. So as we're progressing forward. So 4 megapixel color view only, and then we have the basic series that's just a 4 megapixel normal camera into that little unit, which is easy, very nice, fits in both my hands, easy to use. Yeah, right. So then we have different working modes. So once you power up these devices, you'll see that you'll have the performance mode itself. You have maybe like the standard mode. So it depends on your application and where you would like to use it. So it depends on that model itself. So normally it will come into a like a sleep mode. So you need to take it out, make it into performance mode, put up your time, just so you can set up everything. And then once you're done setting up everything, then you go and you change it again. So please look at that. But we'll go through our technical material on that, and I'll showcase it a bit more. Here's a little video just to show you. Obviously, as you can see in the top right-hand side, the battery is charging up. It's getting all the way to 100% during the day. And then the next is obviously it's getting to nighttime, and then it starts dropping. And then the next morning it starts working again. So just to play that again, you can see where the battery is at that morning hour, right through. Then it starts charging up in the morning when the sun comes out. So very nice, easy. That's in performance mode. So obviously you have, without any sunlight, 2.5 constant days of recording through that battery, which is an amazing setup. Then we have the normal mode. I call it the in-between mode, but anyway, so it depends on, you just want some recording and you want some notifications. So whatever your setup is for that specific environment. So that gives us a capability without any sunlight, when there's no solar panel. It gives us 4.5 days of that constant recording, which is pretty awesome. And then we have our standard mode. Standard mode gives us 24 standby days with just notification. So it's basically not doing permanent recording. Once it detects somebody or something, it will send it through. It depends on your setup. Right. So just to showcase this, this is our normal, how can I put it? Our Heat Pro model for the thermo camera range itself. As you can see, it's got an 80-watt panel on. It's got a 30-amp-hour battery built into it. It gives you up to 4 to 5 days continuous itself power supply for that thermography itself on a normal mode itself. Then also you have the normal capabilities of putting in the SIM cards. You'll be able to have an SD card. So it gives us that capability of communicating. And then also the next step is for the distance of the VCA. So for those of you that are familiar with it, would understand that part. It's a whole separate subject. So it gives us on the security side a little bit more control over that, and for that specific model, which is pretty awesome. And again, we have a 2± degrees difference on this specific new model range compared to the previous Heat Pro model that gave us an 8± degrees difference. All right, very durable unit. We can use this in multiple different places and environments. So that is the temperatures itself for the camera to be able to handle. Right, next up is our advanced series. This also has an 80-watt panel. It's got a 320-watt-hour battery built onto the back of it. It gives us up to 7 days continuous without the solar panel. Also have the SIM card capability. It has an 8-megapixel built-in camera at 15 frames that you can push it, color view and AccuSense. It comes in 2 different models. It comes with a 2.8mm lens or 4mm lens. So pretty decent. Again, different temperature areas, very nice unit. Then we've got our standard series, which is very popular in South Africa. It's got a 40-watt panel, so it's a little bit smaller, so easier to install, a lot lighter as well. It has a 180-watt-hour battery built into it. This gives us 4.5 days of constant communication for that recording, which is pretty awesome. Also, normal SIM card. It's got a 4-megapixel, up to 15 frames, color view, and it comes in a 4mm and a 6mm lens. So keep that in mind, and all the nice little extra thingies like all the other ones. And then our basic series, which has only a 5-watt solar panel. Yes, 5-watt. That gives us 1 to 2 days. Obviously, it is a smaller unit, and it's there for small environments or quick deployed environments. It's got a 40-watt-hour battery built into it, automatically into the device. Underneath it is where you put the SIM card, the memory card, and all that type of stuff. So 18 hours of continuous, small device, like a mobile, but easy to use. All right, it comes out with a 4 megapixel at 15 frames per second, and it comes out with a 4mm and a 6mm lens, and it has already that built-in PIR. So nice device, and especially for cold environments as well. Okay, this is just a little spreadsheet of that different modes. So if we go as an example with standard mode, if we basically have just the notifications on that, it gives us up to 80 days. So normal device up to 7 days. So you can see the differences in that, and it's really worth using. Then we also have a little graph just to show roughly. Obviously, times have changed, but this was the last time that I've personally also with my team has tested it. So just for that data itself, so as an example, if you are using the 4 megapixel and you drop it to 2 megabytes per second at 15 frames, that gives us at least that amount of data. So yes, that is under megabytes. So it will be 0.700 megabytes itself. So that's for an hour and a half itself on live view. So you can see that that's that information that it gives through. Each company is a little bit different with their data usage. We've also picked that up. We are in the process of trying to look at a different solution of, especially in South Africa when it comes to the data. But I've tested this with Vodacom, NTM, Cell C, and Rain as well. So it does work. And obviously it depends on the network environment structure for that ISP company or that internet solution company that provides the internet on that SIM card. Anyway, not to go further down there. So next up is where we'll be able to apply this in the real world. Well, we've gone through all that. So there's multiple different places. I've got some little pictures after this just to show you guys. So like I mentioned, for farming areas, this is perfect. As you can see in the picture here, this just creates more ideas. And if you haven't done that, please look at it. If you guys are installing companies and you do a lot of these type of installations, please have a look at this. Very nice. Get yourself a second-hand trailer or whatever the case might be. Put it up, rent it out, maybe to a certain company, or maybe use it for testing purposes to showcase it a bit more. It works. All right. Next up, obviously, for any forest or any normal use, especially on the Heat Pro side, because we don't have any electricity for forestry, this is perfect as well. The guys that do lumber, the lumberjacks, this is also a very nice product. Use the Heat Pro. Once it detects the heat of the fire, it will send a notification. Again, being proactive. Construction sites, also again, very easy to use. Put it up while that TLB or that crane or excavator is there. Instead of just relying on the security guard there, draw your lines. It just makes so much more sense. And you can rent this out as well. You set it up and you rent it to your client. Perfect product. Right. We have shown cases as well at certain events of ours. So easy, quick. We had a setup and then we could show our event remotely as well and live. So very nice, especially for festivals. And then obviously our Heat Pro, which not just that, this can be set up at multiple different places. It can also be linked to an ARC 24-hour monitoring. ARC is the armed response company. So it gives us more capability of using that, especially for the guys that are doing like golf estates and stuff like that, for the border of that security. Instead of putting a lot of AccuSense, you can put up one of these and you have quite a lengthy area. My recommendation would be at least go every 60 meters, put up another one instead of the normal AccuSense, which you normally would go every 30 meters. So keep that in mind. Good business, good idea. And yeah, it's just a little video to showcase how easy that is. I think we have shown it. Yeah. we go. And it's a lady that's installing it, no offense, but you know, it's like really, really simple. That specific model is the standard series. We go. Big storm. So remotely you can access that, have a look. Everything seems still okay, even though it's a little bit of bad weather, some hail. And here comes our notification. One click, open up, and there you go. All right. Very straightforward, easy to use. Okay. And our wonderful ranges. Yes, they are looking at multiple different applications where we're going to be able to use different models of cameras for different type of systems. Again, these cameras are specially designed for this application. So you can't take that and then mount another camera. You're not going to get the same results. It might probably not even work correctly. I wouldn't recommend it because those cameras are specially designed just for that application. So keep that in mind as well. And like I said, before we did a video regarding the 3 models. Now we have 4 because we have the HIK Pro. And as we progress forward, we're having more products, different lines, different features. So really big business. And again, sorry for the picture that's been squashed out. That promotion, especially for the load sharing with our wonderful Power and Uncle Cyril. Hey, buddy, thank you. We really appreciate you helping us there. So keep that in mind. All right. So for more information, please contact your local ND or your supplier or your Hikvision representative, and they will assist you. If there's any technical assistance, we are training that up. Our material will be on our portal as well, so you would be able to download it and have the proper videos to showcase that. All right. Thank you very much. And I'm stopping the recording. After this, we'll do the Q&A.